The presentation will describe projects where different principles of landscape design lead to the strongest and resilient cities. Through various examples of landscape architectural projects, demonstrate approaches how to create sustainable landscape ecosystems, urban strategies and open spaces supporting the concept of resilient cities. Baxi River Forest Island, one of the numerous islands in Xiang River, is located in Chaisha City, China. The project is across 3,500 meters from north to south in length and 300 meters from east to west in width, equal to 91 hectares in area. The complete coastline is as long as 7,000 meters. For centuries, the Xiang River is meandering through the landscapes in southern China, sculpturing landforms as sandbars and islands. In recent decades, these formations were turned over by concrete walls as a means of controlling seasonal flooding. Consequently, people were deprived of access to water, as ecological connections broke between the river and the islands. Caused by elimination of natural edges along islands, the river and its sandbars saw negative environmental impacts of different levels, including decrease in biodiversity. In view of this, local government identified a 2-mile-long eroded sandbar to establish a new park for the city Changsha. The goal of design by SWA Group was to restore and reform island ecology while presenting seasonal natural beauty of the river to citizens. The project represents the process of how the river influences island vegetation through designing its topology. Plenty of local native water-resistant plants are used to establish riverine ecological habitat and prevent future possible disasters. Meanwhile, a series of locally characteristic strolling paths, gardens and plazas is spread over the site, rendering the park natural but also recreational for serving the city Changsha. The river forest island respects flooding regimes. The nature of landform design directs water to flow through or over the island. The project also re-establishes 20,000 native trees, creates wetland terraces, and integrates an extensive trail system and program. Directional berms sculpted to allow rising waters to flow through and over it are planted with native trees such as metasequoia, willows and native grasses. Higher terraces are created for building facilities, pavilions, and museum. At River Forest Island, regime and science of nature are blended into an artful experience, creating a new river oasis in the heart of the city. Fisherman's Bend, Melbourne, Australia is located between Melbourne's CBD and Yarra River. It is Australia's largest urban renewal area. It offers an unparalleled opportunity to create a world-leading, sustainable, mixed-use place to live, work. The water-sensitive city strategy builds on three overarching pillars: flood management, climate-resilient water system and urban ecology. The delivery of the water-sensitive city strategy relies on a range of infrastructure interventions at various spatial scales across the public and private realm: green roofs, green walls and rainwater tanks, rain gardens and tree pits at the street scale to provide a multifaceted approach to stormwater runoff management, urban cooling, biodiversity and amenity outcomes. A water recycling plant and third pipe network to deliver on water security. They include collection and reuse of rainwater, treatment and use of recycled water, plus flood protection at a variety of scales and the integration of water in the landscape. Traditional civil engineering infrastructure of pipes, pumps and levees to ensure protection from Yarra River overflows and flood management. District of Pickling is the solar city of Linz, with an area of 36 hectares and 2,942 residents. Design and water concept was prepared by Atelier Dreysitel. Architect of the building was Red Group. Realization year: 2004-2006. The solar city is the perfect example for a smooth town expansion in the open countryside, eco-friendly town planning and perfect example of future-oriented town planning. For the first time, an entire district was constructed in the economical low-energy construction method, according to ecological criteria. The solar city's residents profit from low overhead expenses of their apartments and from a high living standard through south-oriented buildings, a clear glass architecture, solar hot water production and floor heating. Traun Dano Wetlands is unique nature reserve and will remain protected, and at the same time it is meant to constitute a nature experience for the solar city's residents. It is a notable sustainable residential district with strong ecological design. For the fifth time in a row, the city of Zurich has taken first place in the International Institute for Management Development's IMD Smart City Index. Smart living for all cover aspects of life, from energy-efficient housing to digital healthcare solutions. Zurich prioritizes improving the quality of life for its residents. The city's initiatives cater to diverse demographics, ensuring inclusivity and accessibility. As Zurich continues to innovate, its focus remains on sustainability, resilience, and technological advancement. The city's long-term strategies aim to create a livable, efficient, and inclusive urban environment. Benchmark Smart City include its circular management of waste and efficient use of energy, digital security, reduction of greenhouse gases, and investment in healthcare and education systems, which help to reduce the digital divide among citizens. Zurich places the citizen at the center of its strategy by seeking a balance between ecosystems and the city's development in terms of participatory planning. City actively involves its residents in shaping its future. Digital platforms enable citizens to provide input on urban projects, ensuring that developments align with community needs. Copenhagen is known as one of the greenest cities, with a goal to be the first carbon-neutral city. It features extensive bike lanes, electric public buses, and waste-to-energy plants that include ski slopes. City has a long-standing tradition of pursuing green solutions and has founded a range of sustainable development initiatives and continues to do so. The Arcadis Sustainable Cities Index has placed Copenhagen in 4th place in 2024. They rank 100 of the world's cities under 3 pillars of sustainability: planet, people, and profit. Green initiatives in Copenhagen include offshore wind turbines in the Øresund Strait, an increasing number of electric buses, waste-removing initiatives, and green wave traffic lights for cyclists with digital countdowns and footrests at junctions. The goal of the CPH 2025 climate plan is to make Copenhagen the world's first carbon-neutral capital through multiple phases of implementation. More than 98% of buildings in the city are already connected to a centralized heating system, but City is still trying to reduce energy consumption within municipal buildings by 40% and supply the entire city with carbon-neutral electricity and heat. Additionally, Copenhagen is currently preparing a new CPH 2035 climate plan. City has also become a destination for people engaging in ecotourism, offering cheap ways to experience the city in exchange for climate-friendly actions through a new program called Copen Pay. Copen Pay and other environmental initiatives throughout the city are revolutionizing the way an urban environment attracts visitors, and its principles are being applied to the country of Denmark as a whole. The 330-300 rule is a simple, evidence-based guideline for cities to improve human access to nature and enhance urban health, equity, and resilience. It specifies 3 minimum thresholds that every urban resident should have. 3. Be able to see at least 3 grown-up trees from their home, school, or workplace. 30. Live in a neighborhood with at least 30% tree canopy cover. 300. Be within 300 meters, about a 5-minute walk, of a high-quality public green space. Visible trees, 3 inches. Being able to see trees from living and working environments is linked to mental health benefits such as reduced stress, improved attention, and better overall well-being and support psychological recovery and performance. Minimum 30% tree canopy. Neighborhood scale. Tree canopy cover refers to the percentage of land shaded by tree crowns when viewed from above. Higher canopy cover has been associated with local cooling effects that mitigate urban heat islands, especially important under climate change. Improved air quality and comfort in neighborhoods. Greater biodiversity and more pleasant neighborhood aesthetics. 300 meters to public green space. Proximity. The 300 meters criterion ensures that residents can reach a green space on foot in about 5 minutes. Research and policy guidance associate close proximity to parks and green spaces with greater recreational use, physical activity, social interaction, and improved health outcomes. The European Commission give award to the cities over 100,000 inhabitants, called the European Green Capital, and to the smaller cities, less than 20,000 inhabitants, the European Green Leaf. The awards recognize and reward local action towards a transition to a greener, more sustainable future. Winning cities are including their citizens in this transition, improve the urban environment, combat pollution and mitigate and prepare for more resilience to climate change and provides a better quality of life for their citizens. European Green Capital, year 2026. Agueda, Portugal, spans an area of 335 square kilometers and is home to approximately 47,000 residents. Known for its rich natural heritage, over 60% of Agueda's territory is forested, with 11% included in the Natura 2000 network and protected areas under the Ramsar Convention. The city is recognized as one of the world's top 100 sustainable destinations. Year 2027. Siena, Italy, fosters sustainability from within, leveraging social cohesion as a driving force for transformation. Initiatives such as the EPD-Net Healthy Corridor make green spaces more accessible and inclusive, engaging both children and older citizens in shaping the city's future. Siena's ability to weave heritage with innovation. Year 2028 Assen, the Netherlands, is focusing on livability, health and happiness. Assen links its environmental performance directly to its vision to have the happiest residents in the Netherlands within a decade. The city performs strongly across all 7 environmental indicators. Manhattan Healing Forest, located along the southern banks of Roosevelt Island, offering a haven of tranquility for the almost 12,000 residents amidst the bustling cityscape. At the area of 370 square meters, 1,500 trees are planted of 47 native species. The strategy for building biodiversity, climate resilience and well-being is based on the proven Miyawaki method of planting ultra-dense, biodiverse forests of native species only. This Tsuji pocket forest is strategically positioned to stabilize the land and capture water, serving as a living barrier against flooding and erosion, preventing pollutant runoff and enhancing air quality. With its diverse array of flora and fauna, it serves as a miniature lung for Manhattan, providing habitat for migratory birds, butterflies, and a variety of urban wildlife. The concept of pocket forests is spread around the world and great examples could be found in many other countries. Park is located in the middle of the Neues Landgut urban development area in Vienna. It was opened in September 2023 with extensive play and sports facilities as well as a place to cool off on hot days. In the northern part of the park, along the Erika Kren Promenade, is the newly opened centerpiece of Walter Kuhn Park, the Climate Forest. 166 new densely planted trees with shrubs and a 2,500 square meter flower meadow as undergrowth frame the park on 2 sides. Winding paved paths are designed to give the impression of beaten tracks. In addition to the planted shrubs, a total of 260 square meters of grass and perennial beds have been created, what support local wildlife. In the eastern part of the park there is a children's playground with a sand and mud area, swings, seesaws, slides and climbing facilities. 12 mist columns and 2 water features, consisting of 24 bubbling groundwater fountains and ground mist nozzles, provide cooling. Another highlight is the climate-friendly design of the approximately 3,000 square meter Elizabeth Sunt Square. The shade situation on the square was analyzed to determine the location of the trees. Green spaces and tree plantings were preferably arranged where there is little building shade in summer. In addition, the sponge city principle is applied at Elizabeth Sunt Platz. 180 hectares is a premier example of post-industrial landscape design, transforming a former ironworks into a public park through managed succession. The idea for a new type of natural and man-made landscape with an industrial stamp was born in 1989. Based on designs by Peter Latz and partner, a Landschaftspark Duisburg Nord has been created on the North Duisburg site, which is neither park nor landscape in the traditional sense. Vegetation is growing wild next to landscape water features, green spaces and gardens on land which has been heavily shaped by coal industry. Redeveloped industrial landscape lays on the principles of urban development with regard to ecological, social and cultural factors. It confronts the challenges of structural change and entails the restoration of nature. This reconstruction of the landscape is not a return to a previous state, but rather letting nature take the lead. The concept targets 2 main challenges of cities in the 21st century: increasing climate change impacts and social inequality. The threat of more frequent and severe heat waves is decreased by combining systemic adaptation and mitigation measures at the urban scale within existing infrastructure. Meanwhile, the approach is based upon community engagement and co-design, empowering disadvantaged groups to regain the transformative potential of their neighborhoods and contribute to a fairer city. Coolco's Cooling Corners and Corridors project in Joseph Varos, Budapest, follows the principles of the new European Bauhaus, NEB. The project aims to address urban heat impacts through integrating the 3 NEB pillars of sustainability, beauty and inclusivity in its implementation. Utilizing a participatory co-design process, the initiative integrates modular urban furniture, greenery, and information panels to provide a small-scale solution for adapting the public space to heat. Montpellier is the 7th largest city in France with 460,000 inhabitants. About 60% of the municipal land is urbanized, part of which has been built on the city's swampy wasteland. 40% consists of parks, protected areas, forests and rural areas. These natural areas contain approximately 20,000 plant species, more than half of which are endemic to this region, making the city one of the world's most important biodiversity hotspots. Economic and demographic growth after 1980 became one of the highest growth rates in France, leading to rapid and unsustainable urbanization. This, combined with the increased risk of flooding from poor drainage of wasteland soil and the impacts of climate change, has created great challenge for the municipal government. These challenges was a perfect testing ground for deploying nature-based solutions in an effort to create a smart city that is resilient to future challenges. City municipal government decided to build a new city district on a former floodplain and partially abandoned wasteland. One of the main goals was to promote economic growth through innovation while finding answers to challenges such as housing, transportation, energy, and flooding. Application of nature-based solutions includes tree planting to mitigate flood risk, having greener sidewalks, and establishing and improving natural biodiversity corridors. Natural retention basin, in the form of a recreational area with planted trees, was built to collect and direct storm and flood water into the sea and nearby lagoons via local rivers. A green corridor with protected woodland was established along the river to further buffer flooding issues. An eco-pasture has also been installed where sheep have been introduced to enhance the park's eco-resilience and natural beauty. In 2015, Park Marianne was certified with an eco-district label that fulfilled local sustainability requirements. Lilac is an ecological and affordable co-housing project built on a site previously occupied by a school and purchased from the local council in the Bramley neighborhood of Leeds, England. LILAC's agenda towards social, economic, and environmental sustainability emphasizes a change in lifestyle beyond a reduction in carbon emissions and improved energy performance. Lilac is a bottom-up grassroots initiative based around cooperative governance and co-housing design. The community-led housing project holistically integrates three major principles: low-impact living, affordability, and community. Low-impact living is achieved by a combination of environmentally conscious attitudes, sharing of resources, and design-stage nature-based solutions. Lilac boasts 20 energy-efficient homes with approximately 50 residents, surrounded by landscaping including allotments and biodiversity planting. The Eva Lanksmeer project is an ecological neighborhood, 240 houses, built from 1994 to 2009 in Colemberg. It was initiated by Marlene Kaptein, who was looking for a more sustainable way of building housing in urban areas. Lanksmeer is the name of the neighborhood, which lies in an area that was once a land reclamation area with a settlement called Lanksmeer. The Residents' Association of modern-day Lanksmeer is called Eva Lanksmeer. It originates from an information center, Dutch, Ecologisch Centrum voor Educatie, Voorlichting en Advies, made to promote integration of ecology in architecture and town. The project was a strong partnership between future inhabitants and the city of Colemberg, consultants and others. The goal was to develop a sustainable and environmentally aware society. Nowadays it is a national and international example of sustainable urban planning that also focuses on social and societal developments. What these projects have in common: focus on integrating environmental sustainability with urban development. All use nature-based or low-impact design strategies to address climate challenges such as flooding, heat, or energy consumption. Strong emphasis is placed on improving quality of life for residents through access to green spaces, recreation, and healthier environments. Promote resilience by adapting urban form to natural processes rather than resisting them with purely technical infrastructure. All projects demonstrate multifunctional landscapes, where environmental, cultural, and economic values coexist. Resilient cities rely on the synergy between ecology, technology, and human-centered design rather than single-purpose solutions.